Hey, how are you guys? Today we are talking on a memorable question on J.Lo. Can Jennifer Lopez save the rom-com? Let's watch details in this video. Give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share with your friends. Of course the fireplace is lit at Jennifer Lopez's house. It's a rainy day just a week before Christmas, and her Spanish-style Bel Air estate is decorated as you would expect. Pine garlands strewn around the mantel, orange roses on the coffee table, a professionally trimmed Christmas tree in the living room. It's like a page from a restoration hardware catalog, right down to the star herself, dressed in the couture version of the work-from-home uniform. Chunky beige sweater, cream sweatpants, blinged-out Timberlands. Her hair is pulled back in a bun and a touch of makeup highlights her impossibly dewy skin. The giant diamond studs affixed to her ears are the one true giveaway of her status as one of the most famous women on the planet. Which makes you wonder, does anything happen by accident in Jennifer Lopez's life? It's a question to be pondered especially after her newish boyfriend, Ben Affleck, pops in for a kiss in a whispered conversation near a giant gingerbread house that's iced with the words, Affleck-Lopez family. But before details, please subscribe our channel, hit bell icon and don't miss any updates. After all, this is a woman who has successfully navigated the treacherous waters of celebrity for close to 3 decades, endured round after round of public romances and breakups, refashioned herself from dancer to singer to actress to producer. At 52, a time when female stars usually find themselves in an ageist and sexist Hollywood purgatory, she seems to be more relevant than ever. Her new movie, the sparkly romantic comedy, Marry Me, long delayed by the pandemic, opens in theaters and on Peacock on Valentine's Day weekend. In it, Lopez plays a J.Lo-like superstar trying to negotiate a love life amid the trappings of Uber fame. Sound familiar? She will play another bride in Shotgun Wedding, due out this summer, before trading the gowns for a role as a deadly assassin in Netflix's upcoming film, The Mother, which she planned to finish shooting in the Canary Islands after the Christmas holiday. At some point the streaming service, which last year signed a multi-year deal with Lopez's company, New York Productions, will also release a documentary that chronicles the year she turned 50 and all her disparate worlds coalesced. Legitimate recognition for her acting in Hustlers, she earned her second Golden Globe nomination and a SAG Award nod, her 2019 international concert tour and a halftime show at the 2020 Super Bowl. The year, she said, when everything I had worked for in movies, music and fashion just started happening. Marry Me, which Lopez began working on years ago with Elaine Goldsmith Thomas, her former agent-turned-producing partner, is in some sense an explanation of what it's like to exist under Lopez's spotlight, something she calls a very specific life. It is also a high-wire act, a bet that she can revive a genre that's been left for dead by both the studio system and the rom-com stars of the past. For Goldsmith Thomas, Lopez's decision to go from Hustlers, which upped her cred as a serious actress, to Marry Me, which aligns more with her earlier success as a stalwart of the rom-com, Made in Manhattan, The Wedding Planner, makes perfect sense. We loved making Hustlers, but that doesn't mean that's all we should do, she said. She had an opportunity to pull the curtain back and make a film about what it was like to live and to love in a glass bowl, to have your mistakes amplified and crucified across all platforms, and to ultimately find your way in spite of it. Add to that the ability to produce and perform a soundtrack to that journey, and we'd be fools not to make it. In Marry Me, Lopez plays Kat Valdez, a global pop star who intends to marry her boyfriend, also a worldwide sensation, played by the Colombian singer-songwriter Maluma, in front of millions of fans in a televised stunt. Moments before the big I do, Valdez discovers he has been cheating on her, calls off the ceremony while on stage and opts to marry the poor schlub in the audience, Owen Wilson, holding a Marry Me sign. Think The Bodyguard meets Notting Hill, complete with a soundtrack by Lopez. The movie is both a frothy pop fantasy and a glimpse into a life few are lucky enough to lead. Any obsessive Lopez fan will surely examine it closely for clues into Lopez's own psyche, specifically how lonely it can be at the top, where the cocoon of entitlement can often feel like a cage. And they won't be wrong. Lopez recalled filming a scene in which her character returns home after the stunt ceremony has gone south, depleted and still in her gown. She turns on Jimmy Fallon, only to see him insult her during his late-night monologue, and she starts to cry. It's a hint of vulnerability you don't often see from Lopez and one that took some time for the actress to reach. Once you've gotten burned a few times, you realize, I have to be careful. If things are too deep and you put them out there, somebody might step on your heart, she said, adding an expletive. The film's director, Kat Coiro, admired Lopez's quest for perfection. There is a choreography even in her acting, she said, yet for the scene to work, Coiro asked Lopez to repeat it a number of times to break down that veneer. The result feels real, or as real as Lopez will allow herself to be. I had to remind myself in this movie that this was actually a safe place to let those feelings out, said Lopez, seated in front of that garlanded fireplace. They're making fun of me, that hurts. My instinct was to act like it didn't. Lopez has spent decades trying to find that balance between what the public wants from her and what she is willing to give to them. She still loves doing meet and greets with fans after concerts. Coiro, for one, was stunned with just how much time she was willing to give them. She's so ubiquitous that sometimes she doesn't get the credit she deserves, the director said. I think there's something of that in this film. When Kat Valdez talks about never winning any awards, I think that was a moment that was true to life, Coiro continued. She's been around, she has fans like nobody else, and because of that high profile sometimes she's not looked at in a certain way,